he literally has like no kind of like he has no drones. And now Hexa is going to be bringing over a couple probes here just to help out. But this Nexus is going to go down unless reinforcements are going to be making their way over there. But it's going to be hard. I mean, to be completely honest here, he might be just better off going for... Is he going Muta? He is going Muta. But at this point in time, he might be just better off. He could... I think... TOpaZ is in the scenario where he could probably do one of two things here. Actually, maybe not, because there actually are 3 Muta out coming out of Hexa right now. Out of NewbCrack. But the fact of the matter was, I gotta say, TOpaZ could go for right now is that he has this... If he didn't go Muta, he could go a lot of Ling and just attack the main base over here. He may not realize there aren't any Sunkens, but he could do a lot of damage here. There's only 1 Sunken in here. If he did like another like 9 larvae to just straight Ling, he could probably just completely cripple NewbCracker, which would kind of equal it out, because then the Protoss would be dead and the Zerg would be dead, so it would kind of be on a 1v1 until both these players really did much. But in the mid late games, they're really not going to be, neither allies really going to be doing too much. And I really don't see how this, I don't think actually he has an ability to come back. Yeah, Hexa has no ability to come back, and we're seeing an expansion coming out of Wallace right here. So Wallace, the longer Wallace is sitting back, the more powerful he's going to get. And if you guys look back to some of my other 2v2 casts, what I've always said is sometimes the non-Zerg player on the team will often get up a higher tech than the Zerg, which you're going to be seeing, because I mean he's going to be up a second base here while this Zerg's still trying to get his way up here. These Muta aren't going to be doing too much because there's going to be two spore colonies, and I believe it takes like probably like 18 Muta to probably take out like effectively two spores. Muta really aren't that great against high DPS. Though against like little shenanigans right here, but I feel like almost Hexa could just leave this game at this point in time. There's like really no point that he should really still be in this game unless he's just trying to watch it. But you know, but he was able to get in here though. He does have around 4 Muta here, and I think TOpaZ is just prolonging this game at this point in time. I mean, this is just gonna stall for time here. He just has to wait for the Dragoons to come out, and I mean, eventually there's gonna be some kind of Archon tech eventually coming up. I mean, he's probably going to get Templar Archives, which is exactly what he's getting right here. And I mean, he's getting up to a semi-decent amount of Muta here. Actually, a lot of Muta for sure here. So I mean, I don't know. It could be the fact that TOpaZ is going to have an overwhelming amount of Muta and be able to get away with it. But the fact of the matter is, he's not going to be able to push against, you know, Muta that NewbCracker has and the 2 spore colonies. Like when it comes down to that, he's not going to have enough to beat that. So, and this is exactly what NewbCracker needs to do. He needs to go for a counter push to stop this. There is only 1 spore right here. He does have a couple defensive Mutalisks here, but if he's able to snipe up a couple Overlords there, it's going to be very, very good here. But still, keep in mind that TOpaZ is still like pretty much getting free reign over the Protoss base here. He's trying to get up more cannons, but cannons, I mean, the low amount of oh my God, what am I saying? HP on them is pretty minimal. They only have 100 HP. So HPO, what am I getting from? Oh, you know what I'm getting it from? Because I'm doing pH in chemistry. That's why. Because I'm doing like HPO or whatever. I think it's actually what it actually is. But Ling's are gonna be making their way. They're gonna be targeting the 1 Sunken right here. But there's gonna be a lot of Muta. Is this gonna be really cost effective? I don't think it will. Sunkens have, I mean, Spore Colonies have a ton of HP here. He needs to get those Lings around that Spore Colony, but the Sim City is just gonna be too great. And I don't know, those Muta are taking a lot of hits just from those Muta right there. And gonna be trying to target fire it down, but he's not even target firing it down that much. A lot of the Muta are just completely just getting decimated from TOpaZ right here. And that was not a good engagement for TOpaZ. Sure, he broke down Spore Colonies, but really at what cost? But somehow he just had enough to break down those spores, had enough to break the cripple the mineral line of NewbCracker here. And this is the time where he may even want to go for an expand here, just because he is he's really far ahead. But now there's the Archon out, which is going to make it very, very difficult. And keep in mind, Archon does 2 things against Zerg. 1, it's really, well, 3 things. 1, it's super powerful late game unit. Number 2, it does splash damage. And it completely counters mass Muta or Muta in general, because they stack up extra astronomically. And with 30, they do 30 damage right here. He's gonna take so many hits. And they have a beefy amount of HP. Speed slots are gonna be trying to come up here, but nice little. Finally, Hex is doing something a little beneficial here. You're gonna be just stalling for that much time. For that, so I'm gonna do some DPS right here. More Lings have popped. And the third thing is it counters Ultra Ling. So if he's able to get up a crucial mass of these things, Mutaling is not going to do anything, especially if he starts getting a +1, which he's doing. He's about halfway done. So now those Archons are going to do, I believe, 33 damage per hit once that +3 is done, which is going to be crucial because he's getting no Carapace. He's got nothing. The only reason why he has an Evo Chamber, which I saw right here, is just to get up Spore Colonies here. Yeah, and 3 Canes are going to do fairly efficiently here. He's going to probably be able to break this down, though, eventually right here. But he did lose 1 or 2 Muta from that, which he really shouldn't have needed to. And he's just going to pick off some weak cans over here, trying to exploit them best he can. A lot of Lings are going to be making in their way, coming out of TOPAZ here. But TOPAZ somehow staying in this game right here. I have no idea how Black Dragon is actually still in this. I mean, Hexa's been out. TOPAZ has somehow done super in-game aggression here. Sorry if I hope you guys are understanding like what player I'm talking about. There's just like 4 names, and I get frequently confused between them. But Archon's gonna be trying to morph here, but he's not gotten the amount of Archons he kind of needs right here. And now all he has is Mass Zealot here, which I don't get why he's producing Zealot. If anything, he should produce High Templar. If anything, he should go Dragoons. And oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful coming out of Wallace right there. Just connecting those. Look how weak those Mutaflock is now. Some of them have a full HP, but 35, 12, 21. If 2 Archons hit after that, that whole Mutaflock would be dead. Now, I'm not counting out Overdose by any means in this matchup, but I'm just simply saying that it's just kind of looking grim right now for Overdose right now, as TOPAZ has just done so much damage. It's crippled NewbCracker, and gonna be just trying to do as best as he can. He's gonna try to drill with drones, but they're gonna get completely taken out. He needed some kind of Sunkens right here. Wallace looks like he's gonna be going for a counter push here, but it's gonna be kind of hard with 2 Sunkens. And Link's gonna be counting up that ramp right there, but they will try to make their way up there. He will have +1, which will allow him to 2-hit Links right here. Will Wallace have enough? I think he might be able to go in here. Now, will this be game-changing? He's gonna have to bring back the Mutaflog, which is exactly what he's gonna be doing, but will it be enough, though, in time to deal with the amount of Zealots here? They're very, very beefy, and oh, he's gonna be targeted by the Spire. And that's beautiful. Well played by Wallace here. Gonna be able to do that, which is just giving him more time to get up his expansion here. I think it's kind of even right now. 2v2 is a very interesting matchup, but that's good. That's like huge amount of Mutalisks right there. And I don't know, even more Muta are popping somehow, even though the Spire's done. And he's gonna be going for the drones right here, but they're continuing to transfer like in and out. And they really didn't only got 1 or 2, or I guess again he got 3 drone kills, but he's done, you know, some damage right there. He only can produce Zealots. He can only produce Lings right now and drones. This might be the time where he has such good map control, he might want to go an expansion. But he can keep on the aggression. You just want to know, and you know, Wallace is taking the 3rd. Now keep in mind, after like the 2nd base, Protoss is gonna be able to completely outright Zerg. I'm not supporting 1 base Zerg for like 1v1, but it's pretty good for 2v2. You can do a lot of aggressive off of 1 base with Zerg for up to some time. I mean, it's like 17 minutes in the game, and somehow he's still mining because you know he didn't get really good drone saturation, etc. here. So he's done pretty good damage right here, and so pretty much Hexa and NewbCracker are out of this game right now, and I'm not quite sure if TOPAZ knows about this 3rd at this point in time. I'm not quite sure if he realizes. But oh, that Mutaflog might be vulnerable. Nope, didn't quite get up that 33 damage. Splash wanted so bad. Oh, beautiful. That just 1 hit here and there is just really gonna pay off. I mean, the regen on Mutalisks is just so slow. And even if he wanted, he could probably even put down like 2 or 3 shield batteries if he wanted to, just to have defensive Archons, because there's really nothing the Zerg can do now. There was a timing where it looked like I was giving the first thing to Overdose Clan, or which is Wallace here, or I was gonna give, and then I gave it to Black Dragons, but Black Dragons is now consistently being off of 1 base and didn't capitalize on the fact that they had really good like Muta control. I mean, like, had really good map control. Oh my goodness, 2 Lings are here. He brought over the whole flock to deal with that. Another counter push with 2 Archons. He might even have Storm available to him if he wanted it. I'm not quite sure if he is. Archon is dead. And he's still got a shot off, though, which is going to be 2 Archons versus Mutalisk. I don't know. Oh, my goodness. He got another hit off. Oh, my goodness. He's going to be able to run here. There's no Sunkens to deal extra damage. Those Mutalisks can no longer defend. And these are going to be able to 2-shot drones here. And if they're going to be able to do splash damage, all those drones are going to be dying if are going to be dead. Now, he can't engage here because there's 2 Archons right here. I mean, they just do so much damage. Archons are so good. Lings don't do anything because, I mean, there's Zealots and Archons right here. I mean, we're just seeing Wallace have the complete counter to what we're seeing coming out of, oh my goodness, what is happening? Oh, it's like slow motion Brood War. Oh my goodness gracious, people. I need to pause for a second. Excuse me, but we're just kind of seeing a complete counter to what Topaz is going. Wallace just knows how to play this matchup well. It's kind of ended up being like an awkward ZVP in a way, but he's going Hydra now, which you would see like 10 mins in a standard ZVP. But yeah, it's kind of showing how different 2v2 and 1v1 can be. But he's letting the Archon he's letting Archons take hits from the Hydra, which he really shouldn't be doing. He's trying to do as much damage to the Archon, to the Mutas as possible here. But keep in mind, he has his 3rd up now. And that's just really going to help. You know, that 3rd is being completely fully saturated here. There's a GG by Topaz. GG by NewbCrack. GG by Bd.Blade, who was spectator. And that was an interesting cast. So that means Overdose successfully won that 2v2. Now, sorry about the consistent going in and out. I'm going to try to go fix that out of this last cast. But I hope you guys, like, you guys can even see it kind of going in and out right now. But I thought that was pretty interesting. I hope you guys didn't mind. Well, actually, I'll just go time for the 5th step of the game here. I think the only reason why Black Dragons didn't have a better standing fight to the later stages of the game, because keep in mind, a 1-base play is for like mid game, like mid game. Like it's like that's like the latest time you want a 1-base, if possible. If then you might just want to GG out. It's just what I've noticed in 2v2 and what I've noticed in 1v1. Yeah, you could 1-base. It's not standard, but yeah, I mean, that's what old Brood War was, 1-basing. But the fact of the matter is, you take and expand when your main's getting mined out. So when you're constantly doing an aggression, you may not be paying attention to your minerals in your main base here. And then you're slowly losing mineral patches, which means you're slowly losing your income, which means you're not going to be able to produce out of the 2 hatcheries that Topaz is going to be able to produce, versus, you know, what Hexa was versus what Wallace did. He took and expands behind it. And the ironic thing is, Wallace wasn't really doing that much of an aggression. I mean, I definitely say Topaz was being much more aggressive that game, and yet somehow Wallace had more expansions. If that's okay, defending is okay, he got away with that. But if you see your aggression's not working, go put up like a couple Sunkens and go take your own base. Like, that's like, I don't know, it just seemed like that's what you should have done. It would have been the more logical choice. You need to find a timing where you were doing aggression and just putting down your hatchery. All you need, and then you could, and then I think what would have happened in this game if you took those expansions, you would have just seen like an awkward late game ZVP where you could have done like 4-base Turtle Zerg or whatever. This game could have gone for a lot longer. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it did or didn't, but you could have potentially set up Sim City. You could have been able to get up a lot of Sunkens that Archons and Zealots couldn't be able to do a lot of damage to, get up your Lurker tech eventually speaking, if you're able to hold off. Now that's a lot of what if, but it's just all depending on if you took that expansion. That's like the one thing, I think the only thing you did wrong in this game. Very entertaining 2v2 for sure this game, and thanks guys for watching. But now I just want to talk about something that I was talking about earlier in the cast, and I'm not quite sure if I really made perfect sense here. I want to be like clear about this. I'm not trying to get like lazy. I've just noticed with like other Brood War casters, more like Sale and Hacklebeast, they kind of know their players inside out. Now that's not gonna be, because that's not gonna like, that's no matter what kind of research you do, that's not how it's gonna work. Like Suzuki, for example, you can look at his stats and be like, okay, this guy's like an A+ Zerg player, but you're not gonna know that he's gonna always open up 3-hatch Muta every game, and he has superb Muta micro. I mean, that's why you just gotta watch the many games and etc. And that's what I'm trying to develop with the 3 teams that I'm following. It's kind of hard when there's like at least like 60 players that you're trying to follow, but I'm gonna try to do is that as best as possible here. Now, if you guys like the statistics, feel free to comment below. Feel free to PM me on Team Liquid. Feel free to, whatever way you want to contact me. I pretty much check the iCup all the time, iCup forums. I check Team Liquid all the time, and I always check, I check those two places all the time. So feel free to do that. And I also get emails from the iCup emails, and whenever someone comments, I may not respond to the comment, but I do read them. So, I mean, like the one comment I might get, or 2 comments per week, or whatever have you on Brood War videos. I just want to make it clear that the reason for it is, it takes a very long time, which I don't mind doing it for you guys, and I don't mind researching it, because it gives me a little bit more background to see who's more favored to win here. But in a way, it kind of makes the casting experience a little bit that much more fun, because then you don't know, hey, this guy's B+, and this guy's D-. I mean, obviously, just do the math. Who's going to win? Now, obviously speaking, I mean, 5 minutes in the game, I could probably tell who's going to win. If it's a D- player that they don't know what they're doing. But I just wanted to put that out there. Feel free to figure out what you guys are doing with that. And we'll be going into game number 2 in this series. And thanks guys for watching, and have a nice day. Peace. Alright guys, thanks for tuning to iCup TV. We are epic and awesome caster and host Fitz here. Now this replay comes to us from the 28th of April 2012. And that's going to be pretty awesome. It is a 2v2 origin, which means it will be a 2v2, which is awesome, because if for any kind of 2v2 players, it's got a pretty interesting, and it also will help me refine my 2v2 casting. And pretty much what the rep comes from is iCup Clan League Season 20, week number 3 from Division B1 or B2. I'm not quite sure, between Black Dragons versus Overdose. Now positions. The map is Fighting Spirit. North side of the map is Black Dragons, and the Zerg competing on Black Dragons, it will be Topaz, and their Protoss, it will be Hexa. Now spawning on the south part of the map, it will be Overdose, and Overdose's Protoss, white Protoss in this scenario, will be Wallace. And spawning in the bottom right, it will be the yellow Zerg, NewbCrack, or Noob, I might call him Crack or NewbCrack. I don't really know how it's going to play out, but that's going to be interesting. Now, Fighting Spirit, for a 2v2 map, of what I've noticed, sometimes it's more difficult for an ally to go help back up, just because the distance to go help your opponent is still astronomically long. And in my opinion, this isn't the greatest 2v2 map, but it is in the 2v2 pool, and this is what a lot of players do often do. And otherwise, that's pretty much what it is. And then rush distance is pretty long. The map is huge, and in my opinion, it's just not the greatest 2v2 map. But so pretty much what this means, it might be somewhat difficult to help help out your opponent here. Or your ally, excuse me. So yeah, so if a dual prong attack does go on, it's going to be a while before your ally can go help and bring in reinforcements. Unlike some other non-traditional 2v2 maps, which I prefer, which is like when both players are like in base with each other and stuff like that, which I think is more true to 2v2 in general, with the whole collaboration and teamwork. But you know, this is still interesting regardless. So we're going to be seeing Topaz going for gas with pool, so nothing out of the ordinary. Going to be getting up that quick layer for Muta, and probably getting up link speed in the process here. Where we saw a 2-gate opening, which is interesting, coming out of Hexa. Now, Hexa was in week 1, because Black Dragons, I didn't know what their 2v2 game was. I think it's a walkover for Black Dragons last week, but Hexa went for a Cybercore opening that game. That was about 2 weeks ago. So, you know, just putting that in perspective here, we're just seeing a little bit 2 different amount of builds here. Maybe because at first, because it was Irish and Hexa, and now it's going to be Topaz and Hexa. And Topaz and Hexa were supposed to be in the lineup for week 1. So I guess these guys probably know each other pretty well, as they are the 2v2 people. But the first initial zealots are coming out now, not to leave out what's his name, not to leave out Wallace here. Wallace is getting up his 2 zealots here, so we're just seeing a lot of zealots over here, and we're going to be seeing a couple links coming from NewbCrack go over to Topaz's base here. Now, we'll do too much. I mean, there's a nice concave going here. There's really not. It's going to really do too much here. There is a nuisance probe just getting a good scout off here, but we're going to be seeing macro hatch beforehand. So this is probably leading me to tell that we're going to see more of a, maybe not for super fast layer, but more of a mass ling kind of thing. Oh, but lings are in Hexa's base here, which is just a nuisance to deal with here. I mean, there are zealots here. Ooh, to get off a nice little probe kill right there. But zealots on lings, or zealots are probably going to win that matchup for sure. And they might get 1 or 2 pro kills, which they did get, but I really don't see that's doing too much. And have we seen Cybercore coming out? No, we're seeing 3-gate Zealot here without any gas. So this is pretty all in at this point in time. And it'll be interesting how, pretty much how Wallace is going to transition out of this if this goes into the late game. How he's going to do it, because his tech is going to be so much more delayed. But keeping in mind that, why is he letting that, he needs to kill off that Ling right there. Okay, he was almost going to get the second kill right there. That would have been pretty ridiculous right there. But yeah, we're seeing identical builds coming out of in this PZ, which is actually kind of interesting. But, you know, it's somewhat unnecessary to build out units a lot more just because, you know, for gank attacks on an opponent. Yeah, he's going 3 hatch. Yeah, he's going mass, ultra, Ling. And what are we going to be seeing out of NewbCrack? NewbCrack is going for more of a defensive posture, which is never a bad thing, but it looks like we're going to see Black Dragons be going for a push here, but there are quite a bit of Zealots coming out of Wallace right here, which should probably push back this right here. But Hex actually has a nice contain going up right here, so the Lings can't really break through it. So it's Lings on like 8 Zealots here. That's never going to be a good thing here. And Lings are going to be trying to come up against these Zealots here, but they're just going to fodder. So it's really going to be not going to really be that cost effective here. Lings on Zealots is just not going to be really that good of a scenario, especially when you can't get a complete surround without crackling. And oh my goodness! Now, I think this contain coming out of Hexa will eventually get Ravel Stomp just because it's being completely broken apart by the Zealots from the north part and Hugo P. I don't really know what is going on. But, yeah, so, if you guys didn't notice, I didn't give out the whole in-depth stats about all these players. For one, I'm just trying to, you know, figure out by play style how it works out for more of the traditional and more higher league Brood War casters. I'm going to try to be doing that as well, but at the same time, we'll be seeing Topaz getting nice around on those Zealots right there, which, oh, he's going to get a lot of probe kills right here, and this is not a scenario where Wallace wants to be in right there, and, you know, maybe not, I mean, maybe like 3 or 4 probe kills, but, you know, in this kind of, in the 2v2, when there's, like, you're really cutting probe production, I mean, we're seeing no more probe production, because he's supposed to produce 3-gate Zealot. That's really expensive, and most of the time you have to cut off probe production. Yeah, he's getting so many probe kills right here, and that Topaz, out of Topaz, I mean, he's going to be able to bring that up, and look how many more Lings he has, and this is what I've been talking about in my other 2v2 casts, is that Zerk really likes to one base because they can do it well, efficiently, at least, you know, less than 10 minutes in the game. We're right now around 6 minutes and 30 seconds here. Look how many Lings he's doing. I mean, he's only at 26 supply, keep in mind, versus like the 39 of the protest, but that's a lot of Lings, my friend. And keep in mind that he really doesn't have that much drone saturation. And the reason for that is because he's able to produce so many Lings here, but there's going to be a lot of Lings here, but that is going to be pretty hard to get through that. It's going to try to be targeted by that Sunken right there. Will it be enough, though? At the same time, we're going to have a Zealot counter push coming up to Hexa's base here, but will these Lings from Topaz going to be able to do enough damage to NewbCrack here? I'm not quite sure if it really did that much damage. There was a lot of Ling dead bodies there for only 1 Sunken. Not really doing any kind of economic damage right here. He did see the Spire coming up, which is kind of a nice little victory for that. But now we're going to have another engagement over here. But these are going to be a lot of Zealots coming from Wallace up here at this ramp here. And Hex is definitely going to have to pull probes here. He's going to try to start drilling right here, which is benefit, though, because he's at least pulling his probes while his Zealots are still alive, just so they're going to be able to get off those free drills for the time being while the Zealots are still able to clean up. And I don't think he's even gotten a single probe kill. So, or no, 1, 2 have finally gone down. You might get a third one. Probe kills 3 and 4 have gone, or 3 has gone down. Will he get another one? 4 pro kills, I believe that was 4. No, 5 pro kills. So yeah, it's actually done some pretty good damage, but I like what Hexa did there. He pulled his probes before he lost all of his Zealots, just so they could do the most amount of damage here. Oh, but I didn't even see, I thought these were reinforcing units right here coming out of Topaz here, but it's actually going to be a big Ling push, and still reinforces coming out of Wallace here, and he may just lose this game. He has no... There's a contain being set up right here. I don't know what's with the Spore Colony. I think it might be a misclick, but I don't know. This might be game here. Hexa needs to figure out something to do here to really do this. He's losing crucial mining time here. That can's going to get target fired out and completely get vaporized here. And oh my goodness gracious. I mean, this game is completely been flip-sided. I think Black Dragons must be just better off to GG out because... Or we should be seeing a GG fairly soon because... I mean, in all honesty, we're not... Now we're only going to be seeing Topaz really be going for any kind of tech And at the same time, we're even seeing a faster Spire coming out. But at the same time, I don't really know what was going on. But somehow, somewhere, NewbCracker took a severe economic damage here. He has the unit count here, but at what cost? I mean, like, he literally has like no